is truth. Every human, from the dawn of time, awestruck by the vastness of space, disturbed by a dream, or troubled by life, has contemplated this question. Oftentimes, movies force us to confront our doubts and rethink the reality of our accepted truth. One such film is The Matrix. In this movie, the protagonist, Neo's entire world comes crashing down when Morpheus asks him to choose between the blue pill illusion of comfort, which was merely a computer simulation, and the harsh red pill reality that existed beyond Neo's perceptions. The Matrix is a great analogy to the real-life trial of Jesus recorded in the Bible. Accused of insurrection, Jesus stands before the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. Pilate, who plays the part of Neo, is trapped in the blue pill illusion of political intrigue. Jesus, like Morpheus, sees beyond the illusion and offers Pilate a chance to see the red pill truth of God's kingdom, the reality behind the curtain of Roman rule. But unlike Neo, Pilate chooses the blue pill, turns his back on Jesus, and scoffs, "What is truth?" Both The Matrix and the story of Pilate point to the idea that truth must be more than our dreams, our sense experience, our politics, or cultural consensus. For something to be true, it must also correspond to reality. Think of truth like a flower. A flower begins as a seed planted in the ground. Given enough water and sunlight, the roots grow strong, and eventually the beautiful blossoms, once hidden from the naked eye, spring to life. For the Christian, the seed is like the absolute truth of God. He's not visible to the naked eye, but from reading the Bible and our observations of God's creation, we can know him. We can make true propositions about the ultimate reality of God, such as God is eternal. Outside the absolute and unchanging truth of God, there are three kinds of temporal truths. Temporal truths correspond to our space-time reality and are therefore subject to change. The first kind of temporal truth is contingent. These are propositions verified or falsified through scientific or logical methods. Contingent truths describe our material world through statements like, Earth is the third planet from the sun. This statement is true now, but if some mad scientist decided to blow up Venus, it would become false. The second kind of temporal truth is synthetic. Synthetic truths are propositions that evolve over time through cultural consensus and shape institutions. So, for example, the proposition slavery is illegal is true today in the United States, but it was not true 200 years ago. The third kind of temporal truth is subjective. Subjective truths relate to propositions that are purely internal to the person. So, for example, my truth might be that I like peanut butter. This may not be true for you, but it can still be true for me. Yet for this proposition to count as true, it must still correspond to the red pill reality that I actually do like peanut butter. So what then is the relationship between temporal truth and absolute truth? Think back to our analogy of the flower. What would happen if we decided to cut the beautiful blossoms from their root? For a short time, they'd look beautiful in a vase, but eventually the leaves would wither, the petals would fade, and the cut flower would die. In the same way, when we separate contingent, synthetic, and subjective truths from the ultimate red pill reality of God, then our knowledge becomes a blue pill deception. The beauty of culture fades and personal meaning dies. Take some time to consider this analogy of truth as a flower and answer the following questions. First, how does the analogy of the flower clarify the Christian concept of truth? What ideas about absolute or temporal truth are still unclear? Second, Christians hold that the rejection of absolute truth leads to the distortion and eventual death of temporal truth, contingent, synthetic, and subjective. Can you think of real-life examples that support or refute this claim?